Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Larry Ellison.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us here this lovely Wednesday afternoon in San Francisco. All right. 6 years of engineering. You know, my first version of that slide was 4 years of engineering. Then I changed it so it took a little longer than we had planned. But it was a huge, huge engineering project to build a complete and integrated suite, ERP, human capital management, CRM, all the different pieces built on top of modern technology, rebuilt on top of modern technology. Complete, integrated, and finally here. Next slide. And it was a gigantic effort. Accounting, what used to be called human resources, human capital management, supply chain, projects, procurement, CRM, governance, risk, compliance. Next slide. Over 100 separate computer programs, over 100 separate products, all rewritten on top of modern technology. It took us 6 years, but I think it was worth the wait. Next slide. We didn't do this alone. From the very beginning, we started working with our customers during the early design phases, our PeopleSoft customers, our Siebel customers, our Oracle customers, our Hyperion customers. We talked to all of them and asked them what they wanted in the next generation of technology. And then we designed it and built it and showed it to them, and they criticized it. And we worked again and reworked until we finished this 6-year journey of rewriting all of our applications on top of modern technology to meet the needs of our most demanding customers. And we had 200 design partners, 200 testers, and now we have 200 live customers on top of Fusion applications during its controlled release period. Next slide. But that controlled release period is now officially over. All of these 100+ modules, these 100+ new products are generally available to all of our customers all over the world. And we have tens of thousands. I'd like to thank all of our application teams for designing a great product, building a great product, and sticking with it until you're finished. Of course, you're never really finished. There's going to be another version, another version, another version. But now we're delivering it to our customers. Human capital management, ERP, CRM, all those pieces are here today. Next slide. I'd like to go back 6 years to the very beginning of the project and review for all of us some of the design goals we had for Fusion. Why did we rewrite PeopleSoft and Siebel and Hyperion and the Oracle E-Business Suite on top of modern technology? It was a huge effort. It took a lot of engineers a very long time to do this. Why did we do it? Why did we do it? What was wrong with Oracle E-Business Suite or PeopleSoft? I mean, they're a good product. They were market-leading products. They are market-leading products. And we continue to invest in them today, and we'll continue to invest in them tomorrow. But we felt we had to move to a new generation, the next generation of technology, for very specific reasons. First, we needed applications that were designed not to run just on-premise in your data center, but we needed to design applications that also ran in the cloud. Now, 6 years ago, it wasn't called the cloud. The term cloud was actually popularized by Amazon.com's EC2. It's the Amazon.com's elastic compute cloud. They kind of invented and popularized the term. But before there was the cloud, there was SaaS. NetSuite, Salesforce.com, those guys. So what we really said, what the original slide really looked like, it was designed to run as a service on the internet, SaaS, and on-premise. But the new popular term today is cloud. So designed to run in the cloud and on-premise. That meant we had to rebuild, redesign, and rebuild our applications. Next, we wanted to build our applications on top of industry standard middleware, using industry standard languages. No one had ever done this before. SAP to this day uses ABAP. A more modern system, Salesforce.com, uses Apex. We thought that was a huge mistake. PeopleSoft used People Tools. We used in eBusiness Suite something called Oracle Forms. Everyone used proprietary languages. Workday has his proprietary language. Salesforce, everyone had proprietary languages. We thought it was a very bad idea. So first thing we had to do was re-engineer our middleware so it could provide a foundation for our applications. And we did that as a two-step process. First, Fusion middleware, and then after we built the foundation, Fusion applications built on top of industry standard Fusion middleware and the most popular programming language in the world, Java. So when you extend the applications, when you add to the applications, you write in Java. When you link up your application, this application to one of the applications you built, you use BPEL, another standard way of interconnecting the pieces. Because we have a service-oriented architecture, a modern service-oriented architecture. Nobody else does. SAP R3 sure doesn't. Salesforce sure doesn't. Workday sure doesn't. We didn't. eBusiness Suite, PeopleSoft, Siebel, we didn't have it either. These are relatively new concepts. So we had to re-architect our applications to move them to industry-based standards and a modern service-oriented architecture. That's why we had to rebuild. That's why we took this 6-year journey. Next thing, security. If we're going to run this thing in the cloud, across the public internet, this thing has got to be much more secure than it ever was when it was running in your data center behind your firewalls. It's got to be much more secure. Now, everyone up until now had built their security into the applications. By the way, the eBusiness Suite security built into the eBusiness Suite. Siebel security built into Siebel. Salesforce.com security built into their application. SAP security built into the SAP application. We did not want to use application-level security. We did not want to rely on each and every person writing application code to guarantee that your data and data center and applications were secure. We wanted security to be a part of the underlying infrastructure. So when you built the application, it was guaranteed to be secure because the infrastructure was secure. So we didn't put security into Fusion applications. We upgraded the infrastructure so that the security is built into the virtual machine and the operating system and the middleware and the database, and anything built on top of that infrastructure is secure. Whether we build the application, our application development teams build it, or you make extensions, it's secure because the underlying technology is secure, especially important in the world of the cloud and the public internet. And finally, we wanted to give this new suite of applications a whole different look and feel. It shouldn't just be a dumb page with a bunch of icons in it, like a Windows, a Windows blue screen with a bunch of icons. Do this, do that, do this. Instead, we wanted, when you logged on, when you walked into your office and you hit your home page, your welcome screen, whatever you want to call it, that first page would tell you the latest news about your business. Give you real information on the very first screen. And it will tell you, let's say you're a first-level sales manager. It will tell you what happened in the last 24 hours to the forecast. What deals got closed. What deals fell out of the forecast. If you're a first-line sales manager, how are all your direct reports doing? How are they doing? How much have they sold versus what is their quota in the quarter? You get that information right on your first page. Plus, that's what do you need to know? What do you need to know right on your first page? Also on your first page is a list of tasks. What do you need to do? So-and-so needs to get an unusually large discount approved. Do you want to approve it or not? One of your managers wants to hire this sales consultant. Please sign their offer letter. So-and-so is requested to go on vacation for this 2-week period. It's 2 weeks before the end of the quarter. Do you want to approve it or not? Mark's shaking his head no. Well, so right away, your first page tells you the latest business, what do you need to know, latest news about your job, and what do you need to do, a complete task list. A very different UI than we had in eBusiness Suite or Siebel or for that much what SAP has or what Salesforce has. Next slide. Okay, so if we have a suite of applications designed to run in the cloud, I guess we need a cloud. Next slide. So, my first announcement today is announcing the Oracle Public Cloud. Next slide. When you need a cloud, you just need a cloud. Everyone's got a cloud. We need a cloud. Okay. So our cloud's a little bit different. On the lowest level, it's both a platform. It's both platform as a service and applications as a service. It is both. And the key difference, and I keep coming back to this theme, is our cloud is based on industry standards and supports full interoperability with other clouds and with your data center on-premise, because we all share the same standards. Just because you go to the cloud doesn't mean you forget everything you learned about information technology over the last 20 years. You don't say, we don't need standards. We don't need interoperability. We're in the cloud. What good is that? Well, we think, if anything, standards and interoperability are even more important when you're in the cloud. Security is more important when you're in the cloud. So we have two levels. You'll see the Oracle Public Cloud at the lowest level has got a series of platform services, a database service, a Java service, a data service, actual information, not database, but the actual data itself, a data service and a security service, all built into the cloud infrastructure. And then on top of that foundation, we put our Fusion applications, or you put your custom applications or your extensions to our Fusion applications, all built using the underlying platform services, the underlying standards-based platform services. Next slide. All right, the database service. You can take any existing Oracle database that you have and move it to our cloud, because the database service in the cloud is like the database service in your data center. You can just move the data across, and it runs unchanged. Oh, by the way, and you can move it back if you want to. Or you can move it to the Amazon cloud if you want to. You can move your data between our cloud, someone else's cloud, your data center, back and forth again. You can do your development and test on our cloud and go production in your data center, move the production system in your data center to Amazon, and then back to your premise, and nothing changes. Everything is portable. Your data is portable because everything we do is standards based. Everything we have that runs in our cloud runs in Amazon's cloud and other clouds that are standards based. And in your data center. Next slide. The Java service. When you want to extend our applications or build a custom application, you write it in Java. Industry standard Java EE. You have an existing Java program in your data center right now, you can move it to our cloud. You can build a Java application in our cloud, move it back to your data center or the Amazon cloud or the IBM cloud or any other cloud or any other data center that supports industry standards. Oh, by the way, don't try to move that Java EE application to the Salesforce cloud. It won't run. And they say, oh, we have Heroku. We just bought Heroku. We just bought Heroku. It runs Java. Well, no. It doesn't run Java EE. It has part of the Java application. It's kind of a Salesforce version of Java that only runs in Heroku. So if you try to take a Heroku application and move it to your data center, it won't work unless you buy Heroku. It's not standards-based. Our cloud is standards-based. Next slide, please. Okay, famous quote. I'm not sure where I heard it. Not sure where I heard this, but it's ringing in my mind. Someone very famous in the cloud business said, beware of false clouds. That is such good advice. I could not have said it better myself, but I'm going to say it again. Beware of false clouds. There is a huge difference between clouds and false clouds. Our cloud is based on industry standards. Java, BPEL for integration, XML, Groovy web services, easy to interconnect applications in our cloud to applications in the Amazon cloud to applications in your data center, all using standards. At Salesforce, well, if you want Apex, the only place you can get it is Salesforce. It is unique to Salesforce. There's only one set of computers in the world that run Apex, and that would be Salesforce. You want to build your applications in Apex, you better run them in Salesforce forever, because that's the only place you can run them. Heroku is not industry standard Java. If you build something in Heroku, you can't move it. It's not a Java EE compliant application. It's a derivative of Java. Force.com, you're right in Apex. Again, all of this stuff is non-standard. All of this stuff is unique to Salesforce.com. It only exists in one place, in Salesforce.com. Now, if you don't care, fine. But understand, you are committing yourself to life to run that application at Salesforce.com, because it doesn't run anyplace else. You can't move it anyplace else. You can abandon it. You can write it and say, oops, I just give up. But you can't run it anyplace else ever. And you can't build things in your data center and move them to Salesforce.com. That doesn't work either. If you're not happy with Salesforce.com, you can't move to Amazon. You can't do anything. Salesforce.com cloud is kind of sticky. You know, it's kind of the ultimate vendor lock-in. You can check in, but you can't check out. I like to think of it as the Roach Motel of clouds. Now that is a false cloud. Imagine, it's like an airplane. You fly into the cloud and you never get out. It's not a good thing. With Fusion applications, with Fusion databases, they run in our cloud, they run in your data center. You can move them back and forth, no problem. With Salesforce.com, it is a false cloud. It's good for Salesforce, not necessarily good for you. Next slide, please. Okay, I said we have a database service based on standards. We have a Java service based on standards. We also subscribe to lots of data. You can, as I said in the first thing, you can load your data into our cloud, move it from your data center here. But we also subscribe to a lot of useful data that you might want to use in our cloud, like the Dun & Bradstreet data or census data. Data extracted from a number of social networks. Lead information. We're going to populate our cloud with a lot of useful data for our customers, so you don't have to go out and make lots and lots of separate deals to subscribe to this data. You'll be able to repurchase this data from us or resubscribe to this database right on our public cloud and feed that data into your applications, whether they're Oracle Fusion applications or applications you wrote yourself. The data service on the public cloud. Next slide. It's a monthly subscription. You go to the Oracle store, you sign up, you can use your credit card. Within minutes of signing up, it's instantly provisioned, and you're up and running with a database, with the ability to write Java programs, with the ability to run Fusion applications. Very important aspect about our public cloud. It's elastic. Amazon thought elastic was so important, such an important characteristic of the cloud, they put it into their name. It's called the Elastic Compute Cloud. All elastic means is if you're running a long-running report or it's the end of the quarter and you need more compute capacity or more storage, you get the additional compute capacity, you get the additional storage automatically. It stretches, it's elastic. And when you're through using that capacity, it shrinks back down. You only pay for what you need. And that's how the Oracle Public Cloud works. It's fully elastic. You can expand it instantly, for a couple of days at the end of the quarter, and then shrink it back down. You only pay for what you use. It's very different than a cloud that's rate limited, that's capacity constrained, where they cancel your long-running report because it's using too much CPU power, like over at Salesforce.com. They actually cancel your reports. They monitor your reports, and if they're taking up too much compute power, they cancel them. We don't do that. It's elastic. They have no choice. They can't add capacity. They can't let one runaway report slow down their whole system, so they have to cancel it. Ours is very different. It's elastic. We don't have that problem. And of course, you use Java to develop your own apps, extend the Fusion apps, etc. Next slide. Okay, the Fusion suite is very unusual. It's a complete and integrated suite of applications, and it runs both on cloud and on-premise. If you go, SAP, our biggest application competitor, has a large suite of applications called R3. It's had several names, but still basically R3. And it really is designed only to run on-premise, like Siebel or some of Siebel stuff, and more like eBusiness Suite and PeopleSoft. Now, there are a bunch of new cloud companies that you can buy software as a service over the internet, like Salesforce.com and Workday for human resources or human capital management, Taleo for talent management, but these are siloed, separate applications. Fusion apps are the first complete and integrated suite to run in the cloud. First one. Took us a while, 6 years, a big job. And of course, the same exact code runs on premise. So if you're doing an implementation, you can do your development and test in our cloud, and then when you're ready to go production, you can move it back to your data center if you want to, or leave it in our cloud. Your choice. Next slide. But you have a choice. The key thing is you have a choice, and I'm pro-choice. Next slide. The guys at Salesforce, they're not pro-choice. They think you should run everything at Salesforce. Okay. Service-oriented architecture. So when you connect the Fusion applications, you can have some of the Fusion applications. You can have CRM or your Asia Pac CRM or pieces of the stuff in the cloud. You can have other stuff on premise. It's all linked together using industry standards like BPEL. Everything's web service. Everything is a web service. Very easy to connect these things with each other. Cloud to on-premise. Fusion applications to your custom applications. Very easy to interconnect all this stuff using standards. Salesforce doesn't have any of that stuff. Everything they have for linkage is proprietary. Force.com. Write a custom program in Apex, and we're rock and roll. Let's go. Everything's write a custom program in Apex. Next slide, please. Amazon.com, again, is when you sign up to Amazon.com and you get resources, you get some number of virtual machines. That's how we allocate capacity. Certain amount of disk space, virtual machines, and your applications and your data run in your personal or your company's personal, isolated, in the best sense of the word isolated, virtual machine. Salesforce has a different idea. They say, why don't we put everyone's data and put it in the same database? We wrote the database. We think that's a really bad idea. Unless it's actually good if you want to look at your competitors' leads or something like that. That's a very bad security model, to put everyone's data in the same database. It's called multi-tenancy, and it was the state of the art 15 years ago when they started. I mean, it really was the best we could do 15 years ago. I have no problem with them starting with multi-tenancy. It was a good idea 15 years ago. This is 2011. All the compute clouds, all the modern compute clouds are virtualized, use virtualization as part of their security model. We give you a separate virtual machine. Your data is in a separate database. Your data is secure. You get capacity on demand because you're virtualized. They don't have any of that. They put your data at risk by commingling it with your competitors' data. And God knows whose data. Next slide, please. All right. True clouds versus false clouds. Some key questions to ask. If you really want to figure out, okay, what should I ask someone who's a cloud salesperson? Say, use my cloud. Say, no, use my cloud. Use my cloud. No, use my cloud. Okay? It's going to be confusing. All right. Simple question. If I write an application in your cloud, can I move it to another cloud? If I write an application in Salesforce Cloud, can I move it to Amazon? If you write it in Oracle, you can move it to Amazon, you move it on-premise and back. You write it in Salesforce, Roach Motel of clouds. Virtualization. Is my data just kind of mixed up, smushed together with everyone else's data in one or a big Oracle database with everybody, including my competitors? Yep. Is that a problem? Works for us. We like it because we have to buy less database. It's a really bad idea. We keep your data secure, your applications separate, in your own virtual machine. So is your data safely stored in a secure, separate database and a separate virtual machine? Oracle, yes. Salesforce, And finally is if I need additional capacity, do I just get it automatically? Or do you cancel my work? With the Oracle Public Cloud, you get elastic capacity on demand. Whatever you need, you get automatically. When you're through using it, it shrinks. You only pay for what you use. In Salesforce, you use too much capacity, we're going to kick you off the machine. True cloud, false cloud, you decide. Next slide. Okay, back to our original design goals, specifically the last design goal. Remember, these design goals are 6 years old. And we said we want to build a modern user interface with business intelligence and analytics built in, not added on. So again, if you're a sales manager, on the very first screen you see the current state of the forecast, what's been sold, how your direct reports are doing, how the pipeline looks. You get all of that data right on your screen and a list of tasks. What do you need to know? What do you need to do? We still think that's right. It was 6 years ago, but things have changed. Next slide, please. Over the last 6 years, social networking has been a critical new technology in redefining on the way people interact with computers and interact with each other. And we think this has huge implication on how we build modern applications. Next slide. So, we built a social network. My second announcement of the day, in addition to the Oracle Public Cloud, we're announcing the Oracle Social Network. Because we realized over the last 6 years, the biggest thing that had changed in computing was social networking, and we would build the applications differently. Now, we realized this a while ago, fortunately, not just last week, that we would build the applications differently in light of social network technology, and that we had to build our own social network, and we did. And we had to integrate it with all of our applications. CRM, ERP, HCM, governance, everything. And I'm going to demonstrate how that social network works. With built-in web conferencing, document sharing, ability to network amongst people. So next slide, please. So we changed our user interface goals. By the way, this is the only goal that we really changed over the past 6 years. So it's not merely what do I need to know? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? It's who do I need to work with? And then we've got to enable you to work together as a team. And we do that via the Oracle Social Network built into each and every one of those 100+ Fusion applications. Next slide. I'm going to go through this very quickly because let's see, I've been up for 26 minutes. Is that right? Thank you. Just checking. See how I'm doing. I've got a demo. I'm going to do my own demo. It's going to be very exciting. A little nervous about this. But I wanted to give you a look. Just a look. We're going to show you some HCM application screens. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining them because I'm going to explain the social network and the new user interface in the demonstration. But I want you to just look at how different this looks. This is our person gallery. It's Maria Williams. You can see her social network, the people she works with, over on the right-hand side of the screen. You can see that currently she's in system support. The name of her manager. She's currently away at a conference. So a very familiar. The user interface is very different than most applications that you'll see. Next slide. Again, another HCM application. Here, I want you to look kind of on the right-hand side. It's something called My Tasks, and so you get a task list, a list of things to do I said, to tell you all the things. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? You get a task list with the things to do. You click on those, and that's why you go to the application. Should I sign this offer letter? Click, and you can approve the offer. Can I approve the vacation? So on. Next slide, please. So it's not only what do I need to know, what do I need to do, it's how you navigate when you decide to do it. How do you make the approval? So the information in them is actually the menu and how you navigate through the system. Okay, because we have a HCM system throughout, you use, in the social network, you use, among other things, you use your organization. That's how you navigate through your organization. But you can create additional networks of people you work with. Next slide, please. And this is another HCM talent management slide. Again, I'm going to start the demo in a couple of seconds, but I just want to give you a feeling for how different this is from what we produced before and the competition. Next slide. And of course, all of the Fusion applications, and I mean all of the Fusion applications, run not only on desktop computers, they also run on mobile devices like iPads and iPhones and Android and such. Next slide. Oh, hold it. Stop for the applause. Back up one slide. And okay, please. Mobile devices like iPad and iPhone. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Just so you remember, don't want to make anyone feel bad, but it is beautiful, isn't it? I'm telling you, it's like looking at the fins of a 1960 Cadillac. It makes me nostalgic to look at a screen like that. Next slide. Oh, yes, and this is supposedly a more modern application. But again, Salesforce has been around a long time. They've been around a long time. Okay, next slide. All right, here we go. I'm going to take a short sip of water, and then we're going to start the demo. I'm going to need my glasses. I'm sorry. Okay, so here we are. And whoever ran this demo before was left-handed. Okay, so here we are. The mouse is in the wrong place, at least for me. Okay, so here we are at the Oracle Public Cloud. I don't need to sign up because I'm already a member. I'm going to log in, and I'm going to enter my name. And by the way, maybe you didn't recognize me, but I'm Robert Boyle, first line sales manager. Report directly to Mark Hurd. Well, not directly to Mark Hurd. I mean, my boss's 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 boss works for Mark. And I am a sales manager. My first line sales manager, Bob Boyle. And let me just type in my password and sign in. Okay, first screen. And again, first screen, what do you need to know? What do you need to do? Well, this does not look good. In the upper left-hand corner, right here, it looks like a combination of what's already in and what we're forecasting. We're going to do about 11 million out of a plan or quota of 19 million. My career is over. Now, I got a choice here. It could send me to publish resume on LinkedIn. I mean, it looks pretty grim. Or I can see if I can fix this problem. I mean, let's move to the sales tab right here. Right here in the sales tab. I'm going to go to the welcome screen to the sales tab. This gives me more detail on the sales. I'm looking at my trending on the upper left-hand corner here. I said, oh my God, every week it's getting worse. I'm doing a really good job. And hardware, we got hardware, database, middleware, and applications. Middleware's going okay. Database ain't not too bad. Hardware's a mess. Big problem. Now I'm going to check for my biggest deals. The way to solve this problem is get personally involved in some of those big deals. I got a big deal here at Pinnacle Bank. And it looks like $4 million. I'm going to go down here to the Analyze button, and I'm going to analyze the pipeline. Now, the previous screen showed me what a salesperson thought the Pinnacle Bank was worth. The deal at Pinnacle was worth $4 million. Over here, the computer actually looks at these prospects, looks at, it's a bank, what do they own, what should they be buying? They should, it's a big bank and they own a lot of stuff, but they got no exadatas. So we said, let's look at it. I got a big, by the way, I work for Vision Corporation, an affiliate of Oracle, a wholly owned subsidiary of Oracle Corporation. Okay, so it says Pinnacle Bank's worth about $6 million. It's a big opportunity, maybe an upsell opportunity here. Okay, now let me drill in to Pinnacle Bank, clicking on Pinnacle Bank. I got a little bit of information about Pinnacle. Let's see. Okay. Oh, they're located in Paris, which is interesting. They're a French company, but their data center is in the United States. They're trying to avoid taxes on import tariff on all that hardware. Perfectly reasonable thing to do, actually. Okay. So now I'm gonna look at I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna look at the sales account team, and I see that Nancy Stewart is the account manager. I never remember, Nancy's really new in the company, and she's great, but she's brand new. I got Sam Jones, who's pretty experienced. I got all of these guys here, but I got to get this deal closed. I got 4 weeks. I'm going to ask the system to recommend additional resources for the Pinnacle account team. Click on this. I'm over here. I'm going to click on the recommend resources, and the system goes out and looks at people who can help close the Pinnacle deal. And the highest ranked guy is this guy in North American sales, a sales consultant by the name of Julian Henderson, who's an expert in servers and banking. Let me just click on Julian, hit done, and now we've added Julian. We've added Julian right here to this, where it is, right here to the sales team. Okay, let me just save and close that. I'm done with that. Okay, now I'm going to move from my computer to an iPad. And I don't know if you can see this. Oops. Anyway, it's an iPad with one of those keyboards built in. And the reason we have it plugged into a keyboard, we don't want the virtual keyboard to obscure half the screen on the iPad. But I'm now going to go. Julian's one of our hardest working guys. He's in the field, but always connected on his iPad. And here he is on the Oracle social network. And you can see right here that when I put Julian on the account team, added Julian to the account team, the system sent him a message via the social network that he's now a member of the account team. So I'm sure he's very excited. But that's a little impersonal. It's a little impersonal just to have the system send a message. So I sent him a message to kind of get him excited about this big opportunity we have versus IBM. Okay, now let me just drill into this, drill into that message. Okay, and so Julian, of course, is really excited that he's part of the account team now, and he's going to send a message back. And as you can see, Julian's really excited. Thanks, Bob. No problem closing a multi-million-dollar deal in 4 weeks. Consider it done. Easy. This is Julian's sarcastic way. He's not real happy being thrown into this at the last minute. But anyway, he's in the deal. So Julian sends that message. So we're now chatting away. Okay, Bob says, welcome to the team. So Julian needs data about Pinnacle. He doesn't know much about the Pinnacle Bank. So Julian asks Bob to send him some information about Pinnacle Bank. I'm going fairly quickly. Am I going too fast? No, it's okay? Anything I should go even a lot faster? Okay. Hope this isn't boring. Okay, so Bob says we'll send you the account plan, and now Bob sends a copy of the account plan to Julian. Where am I? Okay, here. And Julian opens the document, kind of reviews the account plan. He's finished reviewing it, and he sends a message. Review the account plan. Thinks he can help. Good news. Okay. Click done. All right. Now, the next thing he's going to do, he wants a system to help him. And that's the interesting thing about our CRM system. A lot of CRM systems really, kind of help managers keep track of sales forecasts. Our CRM system is designed to help salespeople sell more. It's very different. Let salespeople work as a team and sell more, and the computer should help. So he's going to recommendations over here and clicking on recommendations. And the system recommends a couple of things. It recommends a couple more people where the system thinks they'd be helpful on the Pinnacle Bank deal. And that is Kathy Wood and Chris Smith. And also a couple of existing customers who we think would be really great references for Pinnacle Bank to talk to help get this deal closed. They're both financial services companies. They're both big Exadata users, very similar to Pinnacle Bank. They love Exadata. Have Pinnacle call them, talk to them. So the system is providing additional recommendations for additional team members, recommendations for the right references to help Julian get this deal closed. Now, Julian's going to notice that Kathy Wood is a salesperson that sells to one of Pinnacle's subsidiaries. So he's going to add Kathy to the sales team. Okay. And you see the system has sent a message now. Second, he adds into the sales team that lets Kathy know that she's on the team. And then Julian personalize it. Hi, Kathy. We got 4 weeks to close this deal. I need help. Okay. And Kathy comes back and Kathy knows Pinnacle really well, and she recommends another team member. This time, it's not a Vision employee. By the way, the Oracle Social Network is not restricted to people that work in Vision Corporation. You can team with partners. You can include customers and references on the sales team. Your service people can be on the sales team. You can add people to the social network. As long as you deem it appropriate, you can include them on your team. Okay, so Kathy Wood recommends a partner who's worked well with Pinnacle Bank for years. The Pinnacle partner is Pat Parker. Now, it turns out she's so successful at Pinnacle because Pinnacle only likes to work with people whose names begin with P. It's not widely known, but it's the kind of insight you get when you work together as a team. That wasn't in the demo script, by the way. I figured that out on my own without help of the system. Okay. So, Julian now is back in the office, and we're switching from his iPad to his desktop computer. And here he is in the social network, and he's looking, and again, he logs on, and he's looking at all of his opportunities, all the deals that Julian is personally working on. And you can see Pinnacle Bank up here. It says it was updated 5 minutes ago by Sam Jones, just increased to a 40% probability, but it's no longer at 4.2 million. Sam's put it in at 1.2 million. And Julian says, yeah, I know these guys. They lowball everything. So okay, but that's what he did. He raised the probability from 20 to 40, lowered the amount to $1.2 million. Sam's a little nervous about getting this deal done. 1.2 million is now in the forecast. Okay, we're going to drill into the opportunity, and we can see that that here's where Sam has actually made it, given us a win probability of 40% and a $1.25 million amount. Okay. Now we're going to add Pat Parker. we want to add Pat Parker. Remember, the person who works well with Pinnacle. We want to add Pat Parker to the sales team, and we're doing that this time using the web client. And the name of the opportunity, by the way, we're putting her actually as part of the opportunity team. And let me make a distinction between the opportunity team and the account team. She's not going to get to see everything to do with Pinnacle Bank, all the deals and all the exchanges and all the communication with Pinnacle Bank. She's just going to get visibility on this one opportunity. So you have a lot of different security control as what you let people see with the system. As you add them to teams, you can constrain the view of the team to just the relevant information. Okay, so we add Pat Parker, and then the system then immediately says that we've gone ahead and added Pat Parker. And by the way, you can see up here in terms of presence, Julian's online, Sam is online, and Pat Parker's online. A couple other members of this team are not online. So I'll let you know who's immediately available, who's on their computer, who's online. Okay. And Julian introduces Pat. Sam says hi. Pat says hi. And now they want the system to recommend. Okay, we've got to make a presentation to Pinnacle. Let's kind of look at our presentation library go in our document library, search that, have the system search that, and make a recommendation as to what the best presentation for Pinnacle would be. And Julian does that, and it recommends a series. It recommends 3 separate documents: an Exadata overview, profitability management in Exadata, and financial services analytics also on Exadata. These are the recommendations it made before. So these are the collection of recommendations. Remember, Julian accepted one person, but didn't do anything with the references yet. And now the system's made another recommendation, and we're going to look at the Exadata overview and bring up that doc. So Julian opens the document, and let me back that up. Okay, so Julian's opened the document, and we're going to start a web conference on that document. We're going to start a web conference on the document, but not yet. Not yet. Julian needs more help. He's looked at this document himself, and he sees that he needs someone to help him size the opportunity. After looking at the document, he needs someone to help him say, how many Exadatas should we bid here? 1, 2, 3. I need someone who really has done this before. This is not my area of expertise. So Julian again, this time he goes to his wall by kind of clicking on his either his name. He could click either here or on his name and go to his wall, and he's going to post on his wall. Can anyone recommend a sizing specialist for Exadata? They want to get another person on the team, and he posts that onto his wall. Here it is, posts on his wall, and Chris Smith responds and says, "Yeah, there's this guy Avery Park. That's what he does for a living. Fantastic, analyzing existing workloads and sizing Exadatas." So, says great. Let's add Avery Park to the team. We add Avery Park to the team. Here's Avery Park. He's online right here. And now let's review this review this presentation, and let's see if we get the sizing correct. Okay, so here we go. Avery's now online, so the 4 of them are conferencing together. And now we're going to open the document. And this document is shared amongst all 4 people. Not only can they all see the document, and this is a PowerPoint document or a Microsoft Word document, you can do that via lots of applications. But they can edit. They can mark up the document. They can change the document. They can all do that together as part of this web conference. All right. So they're looking. Here are the four people up here: Julian, Avery, Sam, and Pat are all looking at the document. And Julian, I'm not going into the details of actually how this works. You can all be editing simultaneously on your own computer. The other people don't see your edits until you hit publish. But I'm not, it would be horrible if I actually tried to teach you how to use the system during my presentation. You can say it's pretty horrible now, but okay. So it looks like we're replacing 4 IBM P795s and proposing with 2 full racks of Exadata. Is that the right number? Is that the right number? And Julian's not the right guy. We really need a specialist for this. And Avery says, okay, I can't do that in the web conference. I gotta take this offline and study this, and I'll get back to you, basically. And he does. And after some time passes, it turns out we only need 1 rack of Exadata. I could have told him that. Maybe a half rack would be only 4 795s. So we're going to replace it with one rack of Exadata, but makes sense to propose a second rack for disaster recovery. So yes, we want to propose 2 racks of Exadata, but not because that's what we need for capacity. That's what we need for reliability and backup. So Avery has updated the slides, and Sam says, "Hey, I know we're in North America, but Pinnacle's a French company. We're going to have to change the contract." I'm almost done. So we got to add another person to the team. Surprise, surprise. In this case, we're looking for a lawyer. And we asked the system to recommend a contract specialist. And the system goes in and recommends this guy, this lawyer. Again, it's not just salespeople in the system. It's the entire Vision Corporation. It recommends this guy, Steve Harris. Let's kind of drill into Steve Harris. He's a manager. It's kind of interesting. He's kind of a senior guy. And, he's an expert in contracting terms and conditions, patent. Here's why. Speaks French. Very important for Pinnacle. All the French speakers in the audience, Loic, do you also speak French? Oui. Okay, all right. So, this is going to be painful because we're going to send him an English contract, but we're at least going to speak in French. So Steve Harris is now, we added him to the team, to the opportunity team. And Julian brings up the standard contract, the standard Exadata contract. And Steve says, what can I do? And this case is interesting because here, what we do is we use our Julian's marking up the contract. Interesting thing, Julian is not allowed to change the contract. No one in sales is allowed to change the contract. The only one who can change the contract is the lawyer. The system is secure. The system knows, you've set it up that way that if you're changing, you're in the contract repository. No one in the sales team has authority to change contract terms and conditions who's not a specifically authorized attorney in the system. Separation of duties and all that. Okay, but Julian can mark up the document. So we need this change. We need the indemnity provision changed. We need that. They're not going to believe in California law ain't going to work in Paris. We can try it, but we don't think so. So Sam makes a comment to Steve, the lawyer. Steve says, yep, I understand. I've got some standard provisions to substitute. He goes in, and you can see the changes made. You can see the changes made in the document. Now let's save the document, and we're going to now. Okay, so we send the document to the contract. The proposal have now all been sent to Pinnacle. And Sam Jones is going back to the Fusion CRM system, and he's changing the sales stage from agreement to negotiation. We sent in the agreement, and we've now entered negotiation. We've entered negotiation. Good news. And you can see the Fusion system sends the social network a message. So everyone on the team knows that the sales stage has been updated to negotiation. Everyone on the team is notified of this change. Now, I'm going back, putting on my original hat as Bob Boyle, Robert Boyle, first-line sales manager in a lot of trouble. See how it's going. Okay, so I log into this Oracle social network. I come to work. I suddenly get a message from Julian Henderson. Just in the nick of time, we won the deal. And the deal came in at $4.8 million, even though it was only in the forecast at 1.2. That means I can raise the forecast. All the Oracle sales managers are nodding. That's good. That's good. we can raise the forecast, the difference. 1.2 million was in the forecast. We came in at 4.8. We can raise the forecast by $3.6 million. All very good news. Pinnacle's happy. We're happy. Team is happy. You can now see that the forecast is, this thing has put me over. I'm now going to finish the quarter over quota. My job is safe for at least one more quarter. Nancy, who again just recently joined Vision Corporation, is very excited. She thanks and gives credit to her team, and she's very happy. And Bob, of course, congratulates Nancy and the entire team. Quarter is saved. We built a team using the Oracle Social Network. We closed the deal. We got recommended references from the system, recommended proposals from the system. We edited the contract as a team using the system. It's how modern applications work. And thank you very much.